Pressing the go button in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to episode 432 of the Geeks for the Win podcast, the tech and gaming podcast from the geeksforthewin.com, where we cover all things geeky. I'm your host, William, and I'm joined with my co-host, Stuart.
Known across the internet as Casual Terror.
This week we got what we've been watching, movie and TV.
Yes.
And we got an extra week because we skipped last week. So
because I really hadn't watched anything by then, but I've watched a bunch of stuff since. So
yeah, I had to trim my list down because I'm like, oh Jesus, this is a lot of extra stuff that I watched.
We'll watch
over
too
this
much
extra week. I haven't been gaming as much as so I've been replacing that with watching stuff. There's a lot of stuff to watch too. So
yeah,
anyways,
that is true.
What's something you got, Stuart?
Well, I watched the Witcher movie that showed up on Netflix.
I forgot about that.
The Witcher,
I need to watch that. Yeah.
Nightmare of the Wolf. It's an animated movie. It is a prequel to anything that has happened in the Witcher series, because it doesn't even feature Geralt. He does make an appearance, but as like a child.
Oh,
like he's
okay.
This is about this focuses on Vesemir, who is the guy who trained Geralt. Geralt, however you want to say it. If you want to say it wrong, go ahead. But yeah, this is basically this really, because by the time that like the Witcher books and the games kind of take place, like there's not a whole lot of Witchers. Like there are some, but not like a bunch of them, because something happened to basically the Order. This is the movie that basically explains what happens to the Witcher Order and why like there like so many of them died, how so many of them died. It is quite good. Quite good. I don't know. Like, I don't really want to spoil a whole lot of it, but it is definitely worth the watch. I'm looking at the cast right now to see if
watch it. I'm looking too. Nolan North as handsome knight. I only recognize Nolan North and Jennifer Hale.
Yeah. Oh, I do know which the handsome knight that they are referring to, that Nolan North voices. But it's worth the watch. Again, I don't want to say much. It is very bloody, very gory. I'm trying to think of. I don't think there's nudity. I might be forgetting a scene. I don't know. So, not quite for kids. Because, hey, it's The Witcher.
Yeah, right? Like,
yeah.
just sums it up. It's The Witcher, not meant for kids.
Right.
Uh, so yeah. So it feels like it's the same world as the show.
Oh, sure. Sure.
Okay, that's good.
I didn't really see like any of the recognizable monsters, but that's because I never really got too deep into the Witcher games.
Yeah.
So like I can't really identify the monsters.
Gotcha.
But it does also kind of take you through kind of like how Vesemir, you know, became a Witcher and kind of what that process actually is like. Which is, you know, not great, and why so many die in the process.
No, yeah. We've gotten, or at least they hinted at it on the show, right? Like the process now.
Yeah, it's
a tough thing.
it's definitely talked about. It definitely in that first game it is talked about, but you are not really shown. This actually shows it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I need to put that on my list to watch because I forgot that came out.
Yeah, the animation style is good. I know when you go the 3D but make it look 2D look, that can sometimes be off. That can sometimes not go right. Like, that's kind of what they did with the Berserk, like the latest Berserk stuff, as well as that show. I think it's called like Asen. I forget what it's called, but it looks weird. But this you know you can definitely tell like they were using 3D models but made it look 2D. And it looks good. It definitely looks good.
Okay. So it's not necessarily like, oh, it's 2D and then it goes into like 3D stuff, or is that what you're?
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
I have an issue when
anime
animes
do
that.
do that. Where like I think the one of the worst ones is actually one of my favorite shows of late. And that's So I Became a Spider.
Yeah.
They will literally
I
have
agree.
2D characters standing next to 3D characters, and it is so obvious. And
It's so jarring too. Like it looks weird and
it looks
like
wrong.
And doing 3D like that, it always dates the show. I mean,
Yes.
go back to Spider-Man, the animated series, when they would throw in 3D stuff there. Like,
Yeah, but that's actually more like stylized by this point. You know, it's but yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah, it's just I don't know. I have an issue when animes do that, and when they do it, and if it's like, why it doesn't, I just don't get why you did that, because it doesn't feel like it does anything.
It's
I
really
guess.
because it's a lot quicker
It's
to
quicker.
do 3D animation than it is 2D. So it is time, budget, and yeah. But
especially when it happens to a gorgeous anime.
Yes. But this, you know, it definitely doesn't have any of that different art styles throughout the show. This is a continuous. This is a movie which tends to get more love than
gotcha
than TV shows.
It looks very similar to some of the like DC animated, like the style, like
yeah, like or like the Marvel anime stuff. It's kind of got that heavy shading, to it, but it looks good.
Okay, I'll definitely watch this. Just put it on my watch list.
What have you been watching?
Another, I guess, sticking with anime. One that I watched a bit ago. Was going to talk about last time we recorded, but we just had so much we were talking about, so I was like, I'll wait till next time to talk about this, but still want to talk about it because I enjoyed it. It's one where it's another one where like the cover art like kind of kept me from watching it for a little bit. It's called Kuma 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 Bear. I believe it's on Funimation, right? I think it's on Funimation. Yeah, Funimation. Which, yeah. This came out last year, 2020. It's dubbed and subbed. It's an isekai, but not. It's kind of weird because it's like this 15-year-old girl who's like playing this game, and she's like a genius, like a prodigy, because at one point I think it's a flashback maybe where they show her like in the real life, and she has like her own apartment, and she's talking to her grandpa calls her, and she's like, oh yeah, I sent mom and dad money, I sent them their allowance, and or something like that. So like, and it's real weird because like there's that scene, and then later like they kind of make it seem like she can't leave the game, like that's now become life. So it's a little weird, but she gets like this special interesting item, and it's a bear suit, and it looks kind of like a bear onesie type thing, you know. But she is so OP with it, and it's a type of thing where like all the people in the world, like the Adventurers Guild and stuff like that, because this is one of those where, you know, there are adventure guilds and bounty boards and stuff like that, but they all like underestimate her because the way she looks, because she's in like a bear onesie.
Yeah,
pretty much. But like, it's a good one. I don't want to get like spoil too much, of course, but she definitely like befriends like people, and the well, not that the one you have, the image you have up, but the one on Funimation, that it definitely looked like the cover art on Funimation definitely didn't make her look like she was 15. It made her look like she was like maybe 8 or something, especially, you know, because she's in a bear onesie, of course. Like it,
yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of times I look at the cover arts, and also the descriptions are not the best. Like
this looks like one of those animes that's, you know, cute girls do cute things, and I don't.
Yeah, but she's very mature, and she like not in her thinking and stuff like that. So it's not necessarily like you're watching a little girl character, you know, type. I mean, there are little girl characters, but the main character is definitely not, you know, like, you know, the little cute girl, you know, character who's, you know, ditzy or whatever type of thing.
Yeah.
Because she gets to a point where she is like, oh, okay, I'm gonna make, you know, it gets to the point where she's like, you know, I've got a lot of money and I want this, so I'm gonna, you know, I miss good food, so I'm gonna, you know, I got these recipes, I'm gonna create my own restaurant, you know, I'm gonna, you know, I'm going to hire people and build and open up a restaurant here because I miss having good food and stuff like that. Yeah. Your typical like overpowered,
Sure.
isekai your protagonist, but it's a good one. It's really, I really like it. I hope there's more. I hope, since this was 2020, maybe there might be another season. I don't know. I haven't really looked it up. But it's enjoyable. It's a 12 episodes, so typical anime, but it's one I'd recommend, for sure. It's enjoyable. There's some action to it, but it's also a lot of like slice of life elements, where it's not like so intense. There is some comedy and stuff like that along with the action, which I enjoy. I like some of the heavy action animes, like Dragon Ball and Black Clover and Fairy Tail, where they can get to where it's like there are some comedy aspects, but it gets really intense and action heavy a lot of times. But it's also nice to have like a anime like this where there's a good balance to like the comedy with the action. So yeah, it's Kuma 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 Bear.
Okay.
What's another one you got, Stuart?
Most of mine are movies.
Gotcha.
So this one I watched today. Whoops, that's not it. That's the wrong poster. There we go. A movie called The Paper Tigers. It is about these three guys who were prodigies at Kung Fu and have gotten older and have not really done Kung Fu in a long time. And then their masters dies, and then they have to dust off their skills to avenge their master. And it is the poster here says filled with laughs. Well, it's kind of one joke the entire time. It's we're old now and haven't done this in 20 years. So it's just,
so it's Lethal Weapon humor.
Yes.
Getting too old for this shit.
Getting too old for this. Yes. It is it is that. One guy's wearing a knee brace and has a limp the entire time, and anytime he throws a kick, you hear a crack and he falls on the ground, holds his knee. One of the guys has spent most of the time doing MMA and training MMA, so he doesn't quite remember Kung Fu itself and has picked up another style. So he's got to relearn Kung Fu, and the other guy, the kind of the main one, just he's older now, has a family. His body doesn't move the way it used to. So it's basically that joke the entire time, but it's good. It's good. It's you got this one character who in the opening bits where it shows them when they were young, just shows them just beating the shit out of this one guy who, he has the traditional like Kung Fu Chinese outfit on, and they're just wearing jeans and jean jackets because it's in the 80s, and they're just kicking the shit out of this guy because he's like, he's the I want to be Chinese type of person. And then when he gets older, he actually has taken over the school that he learned at, and he even speaks a lot of Chinese. And the other guys are like, "We don't speak Chinese, man. Come on." And he even says that sometimes, like, we Chinese have a saying, and he's a white dude. He is a white ass dude. So he's like, "Who's this we?" They just kind of give him this look like we. So it's funny. Yeah, it's worth the watch. It is definitely worth the watch. They called themselves when they were younger the Tigers, and you know they went around kind of the city, kind of to all the schools, and kind of making it a name for themselves. You know, they were quite famous within the martial arts world back then, and now now they're the paper tigers because they can break easily.
Okay. This is on Netflix.
This is on Netflix,
Okay,
and I
just watch.
I meant to look this up ahead of time because one of the guys in the younger, like the flashbacks, I recognize him. And I cannot, and he's the only person in the movie I recognized. Oh, I know why I recognize him. It's Guy de Silva Green. I know why I recognize him now, because lately I've been watching a lot of YouTube, and one of the YouTube shows I watch, it's a Stuntmen's React, and he is a stuntman that is on that show a lot.
Oh, okay.
But he's done, like, he's been the stunt double for like the Black Panther. He's done stunt work for a lot of movies. So that's why I recognize him. But what else have you watched?
The last anime I'll talk about. It's also on Netflix. Eden Zero.
Yes, I have watched a half of Eden Zero. I've only watched 6 episodes.
Oh, half of it. Okay, I thought you meant like half a episode. I was like,
No.
wait, what?
No, I've watched half of the series. I've watched 6 episodes.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Then you know the premise of the Shiki, the main characters, living on a planet of robots, like theme park planet. And this is for those who don't know, this is like a alternate universe of like fairy tale, right?
It really is. Yeah.
To where the main characters, like at least 2 of them, look spot on. Like, well, one the Happy is in it. Like, it's Happy.
Like
it's
that.
just
Yes, that is
Happy.
actually Happy.
Like, the only difference is that Happy doesn't say I a lot.
True.
Does he say I at all? Like,
not so far.
Yeah, it's weird. It's so weird. Like, but yeah, Happy, voiced by the same person, which thank God. That would have been weird to have a different voice of Happy, but your biggest your one of your complaints was the fact that the Rebecca, who like the Lucy lookalike doppelganger.
I think she should be voiced by I had her name for a second. Jeremy Lee.
Yeah, I'm okay with it not being, because after a while I've gotten used to it and I've realized, yeah, this is it's similar to Lucy, but not Lucy. Like Rebecca is definitely a bit different, like in certain aspects and whatnot. And then the other one is Shiki, the male character. I did not expect.
Guess what? Has an unusual ability that most people don't have, and was raised by not humans. Just like Natsu.
Yeah, true. He was raised by robots, though, so
yes,
it's different.
Not humans.
It's not dragons.
Instead of dragons, it was robots.
Yeah. So, I didn't expect there to be a lot of I didn't expect one of the main things about this world to be B cubes and B tubers
yeah.
Which is their version of YouTube, and
yeah,
because that's what Rebecca is. She's an aspiring B-tuber with her B cubes, which there are these little cubes, probably 1 inch cubes.
Yeah, they're small.
Yeah, and apparently they record everything, and her and Happy both have one. I can't remember. Have you gotten to the Happy reveal?
Yes, that's episode 2.
Okay, I couldn't remember or not, but boy, that was that got emotional quick.
Yeah,
oh my god!
Happy's a robot. Okay. Oh, he wasn't always a robot. Oh, that's so sad.
It was so sad. Yeah.
Oh, that's really sad.
I'm not gonna lie, I got teary eyed. That was really depressing, And I immediately called over my dogs and started petting them and giving them love, and just it's just it's so hard. In a second episode, like you said, yeah, there's a lot happens in this. Not the pace is pretty quick for this show.
It is.
I feel like, which some people like, some people don't like. Some people, their complaints are oh, Dragon Ball, it takes 12 episodes for Goku to power up. I hear a lot of exaggerations and people complaining about that.
Yeah, but that was also 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Storytelling has changed since then.
Yeah. So, but there's definitely not a lot. They don't hang up on one specific thing for too long in this. So I enjoy.
We travel back in time. Moving on.
Yeah, that whole thing was kind of that's an interesting way to handle all that.
And and that's kind of where I stopped, is that episode is when they realize they've gone back in time. They've done some things, and then that was it. I've not come to the resolution of that.
Well, they technically didn't go back in time. Time was stolen or something, or it's confusing.
Okay.
They have their own spin and twists and stuff like that, and they explanations on why reality isn't different because they made changes or whatever. But it's good. I enjoyed watching Eden Zero.
It's kind of become a game of okay, so who are you supposed to be from Fairy Tail? Right? Okay. I guess you're Wendy. Yeah, you're definitely Wendy.
Oh yeah, the Wendy. Oh my god. Yeah, that was a shocker. like, because it looks like windy, but that ain't windy.
That ain't windy. No,
that ain't windy at all. But then again, like also you go to like when they go to their like the guild or whatever. I love the cameo.
I was like, there's that group right there.
That reminds me of a TV show I used to watch.
I'm trying to think of their name.
Yeah. The Levy and
Levy Jet and I can't think of the third guy's name, but like, they're in the background.
Yeah, they show them a couple times, but I was also meaning like the whole like when Shiki was like, yeah, I always thought a guild was like a family and blah, whatever, and and she's like, oh, I remember watching a TV show like that, and then it pans straight to Natsu and Lucy, like straight Natsu and Lucy, like referencing like, oh, is Fairy Tail a TV show in this world? Huh?
Possible.
Okay. That's interesting, but yeah, it was interesting how like polar opposite like the guild situation is,
Yeah, I was waiting for like a Mako reveal or something like that.
Yeah, but it's good. I'm enjoying it. Or I enjoyed it. I imagine there's going to be more because why wouldn't there? Like, there's a lot of source material, and this is also like, I'm sure this is going to be popular. I'm sure a lot of people watch this because the whole Fairy Tail. This is from the creator Fairy Tail, and it also got me started reading the Fairy Tail manga, which, boy, man, that talk about no filler for.
Yeah,
I've been reading.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I've been reading manga a lot. Like, and, yeah, there's no filler. There's no filler at all, and like pretty much in the mangas. Like, I got caught up on the Super Dragon Ball Super, and yeah, that stuff went by quick, But yeah, I've been reading digitally because it's a lot easier and cheaper.
Yeah, but well, it was nice when I had like a shelf behind me. I can just like, I'm just gonna buy there's a bunch of manga and read them and just display them all behind me.
Yeah, I get that.
Now I don't have a shelf anymore. So
yeah, but. And it didn't take as long for me to get used to reading manga that way, the way you read manga.
No,
it was pretty quickly to get back into the swing of things. Because I used to read manga a lot, like
digitally.
Oh yeah, it's great digitally, yeah. And I've got a like full size tablet, a 10-inch tablet, which is great. I've had like. I've tried reading on like a 7-inch tablet, and it's brutal trying to read on a small tablet, Yeah,
I've debated on getting a tablet just to read like comics and also to have like our D&D sound machine kind of as a fourth monitor.
Yeah. See, I bought a 10-inch Fire tablet. 10-inch Fire tablet on like Amazon Prime Day or whatever, because it was like insanely cheap, and I had Amazon credit, so I was like, oh sure, I'll buy that. I think it was like $40 when it's normally like 100 and something, and like I said, I had credit to pay for it, so I was like, okay, sure, I'll do this because I want to get back into comics and,
See, a 10-inch
comics.
10-inch Fire tablet is $100.
Yeah. It was insanely cheap though, like on Prime Day, which
you can get a 7-inch one for $40.
I would go with 7-inch. I've had a 7-inch tablets, and it's just it just doesn't feel right reading on them, because you always have to like zoom in to read it, and the 10 inches are just they're the perfect size for like comic books or manga, stuff like that, where you can see everything without having to zoom in, and makes it a lot easier and quicker to read when you don't have to do all that. I don't like I know some people say like, oh yeah, there's the special view, like the panel views. I don't really like those, where it automatically goes panel to panel for you.
Oh yeah, those are good when you're reading on your phone.
On your phone, yeah, on a phone.
Those are really good on your phone.
Yeah. But yeah, so that got me into reading, got me decided to read that. I'm reading the 100-Year Quest.
Okay.
It's a sequel series to Fairy Tail.
Yeah.
Where they're doing they mention in the show, like Gildart's failed 100-Year Quest. Where it's a quest so hard that it potentially take 100 years.
100 years to do, yeah.
Yeah, potentially. So, so I read the first volume. There's the first few volumes are free on Comixology Unlimited, which I picked up for a little bit just because there's a lot of mangas and comic books and stuff like that on there, and I'm like, check this out. Why not? I wasn't aware recently that there was an actual subscription service for Comixology.
Yes.
But yeah, they've got a lot of manga on there. So, and I'm also paying for the Shonen Jump subscription, because that's only like
$2 or $3.
$2 or $3.
That's insanely cheap.
I've got Google Play credit from the Opinion Rewards app.
Yeah, and you can easily get $2 to $3 in a month.
Oh yeah, like I'll tell my my home device from Google that I'll give it a command, and then immediately I'll have a survey like,
there are so many times I've Googled something and I'll immediately get like, hey, you got did you recently search up this? I don't like that you're watching it, but yes, I have. Give me 15 cents.
Yeah. Well, it's also trying to make the assistant AI smarter.
Yeah.
Oh, did you ask for this? Okay, yeah, then we know that's okay. Some of the options are completely different though. Like, how would you why would you think, how did you get that? Or it'll be like, hey, did you go here? Did you
pay with a credit card? Yes, you have a receipt. I'm not showing you my damn receipt.
Yeah, I never do that. I don't think it gives you any extra. I think I did it once for Walmart or something like that, because I'm like, I don't care. You can see I bought a 2-liter of soda and half a gallon of milk and a can of chili or something, whatever. You can see that. Well, I don't care. But yeah, I typically don't do that, because it's like, I don't really get paper receipts because I pay digitally through through my phone now. So I don't have a paper receipt. Sorry. Anyways, what else have you been watching?
Well, let's do something that's not a movie. Let's do a TV series I've been watching. I've gotten back into watching this TV series, and I've talked to you about it a little bit too. Kamen Rider.
Oh yeah.
Gotten back into watching Kamen Rider. And I've not watched it in a good, like, it's been probably at least five years since I've really watched it. And I remember within that time seeing articles saying you can now watch Kamen Rider on, legally here. Great. How about something other than the first season? Nope. Still can't watch it legally unless it's the first season, which was back in 1971. Which, hey, that makes this the 50th year of Kamen Rider. Which I'm not watching the current season right now. I've picked up where I kind of left off. Which is Kamen Rider Ghost, which is the 2015-2016 series. And I had to get it, other ways, because hey, it's not available anywhere. So, but it's okay. This is definitely not one of my more favorite seasons. This is the story is when the main character was 8 years old, he witnessed his father murdered right in front of him. And then 10 years later, on his 18th birthday, while saving his friends, he himself is murdered and has the option to come back to life if he gathers 15 what they call icons, which are basically the souls of historical figures that are trapped in these little eyeballs that he uses to transform. Yeah, the motif is eyes, but the theme are historical heroes. Because there's always the motif of what they use to transform, and then there's the theme of the show, kind of what it's based around. Always completely separate things, and the thing they use to transform is always an odd thing. Like, here's a padlock that it's got a fruit on it. It's fruit themed. Or here's some switches, just like a physics switch. We're gonna use that to transform into our space themed one. Yeah, they're always odd. But my issue with this one though is it's the second rider. Is just like with Power Rangers has, the common thing of a sixth ranger. There's always a second rider. And the dude is too angsty. He's too just like he's also trying to collect the 15 icons for his own reasons, because his sister's soul is trapped in an icon. So he's trying to free her. But anytime somebody mentions his sister, he goes off and attacks them. Like, what? Okay. But like, you and like the main character were like best friends as a kid. And like, because he's main character of a children's show, he'll end up helping you, right? Instead of saving himself and be selfish. Yeah, because that's what the heroes of kids shows do. But no, he's like, you're just too soft. He's trying to help you. What the fuck? Why are you insulting him? He's trying to help you. Back off. What the fuck? Why? And that's been very annoying to watch. I'm only about 15 episodes in out of 50. So I've got some ways to go. And I'm pretty sure the third Kamen Rider was just introduced, because sometimes there's more than two. But something I would like to share, something that I like about Kamen Rider. It's dumb most people would find this annoying, but I like it. And that is the way whenever they're about to change, the belt always has some type of phrase that they says and repeats. And I know for a fact that the toy makes that sound too. But it's also, and I also know that the sound and the phrase that he says, it's Dianetic, meaning it's in the show too. Like, it's not just for the audience. The writer hears it too, because there are some series where like the main character will actually reference what the belt is saying. And I'll actually play a little bit of it right now. Like this is actually the sound from the toy, but it's the sound that's in the show too. That's the phrase. That and it's different for every season, but for Ghost, it's that one, and he will repeat that until he finishes saying the actual phrase or doing the motion. Because there are times where often he'll start the transformation, the belt will start saying the phrase, and they'll have another conversation while that's going on in the background, just on repeat. And the second writer theirs is different. Their sounds different too. So when they both transform together at the same time, you hear them both on top of each other.
Okay.
Let's see. I think this is the other one.
I'm Batching Hero. Batching Hero.
Okay.
It's so like both of those will happen at the same time, and it's like, it's dumb, but like I like it, and like I don't know why I like it, but I do.
Interesting.
Yes, I've got this one. The next one, I don't know if I'm looking forward to it or not because of the theme. It's a video game themed. I'm like,
Oh,
that could go all right or really bad. Also, the costume.
How old is this? Like the one you're currently watching?
2016.
Oh, okay. So it's a lot more recent. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't start at the beginning. I kind of started. See, the earlier series I've seen is Commander Double, which is spelled Commander W, but said double, is 2010. So I've only watched him from there to 16.
Gotcha. Okay. Are they doing a special 50th thing?
I mean, I don't know how special it is. I mean, they did something. It's after the next one. It's the 20th anniversary of. No, I'm sorry, not the next one. The one after that. It's the 20th anniversary of this type, because like Kamen Rider has gone through 3 different eras. And that's actually like the Japanese eras, which is determined by who the emperor is. You got the Showa stuff, which was 1971 to 1999. At least that's the Kamen Rider stuff. And then the Heisei stuff is 2000 to 2019. So when the Heisei stuff hit 10 years, there was a special, the writer actually transformed into all of the writers before him. He had like little cards that he transformed using, like, transforming into all of the writers before him. And there was something, I know there's something special about the 20th, which I can't remember the name of, but I don't know. The current one actually just started like last week. So like there's only been like one episode out.
Okay.
And I'm not sure I like the costume. I like the look of the costume, but it's the color scheme I'm not particularly a fan of. I gotta show it real quick. I forget how to do this. Oh, there, that button.
Oh, yeah.
Like I like kind of like the look of the costume. I like it, but it's the bright pink and blue. Like, oh,
Oh, is that blue? Uh-huh.
it's like it's kind of like a
Blue-green.
like a bluish green.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like a teal.
Kind of clashes. Yeah.
And then there's also purple in there too. I'm like,
Oh yeah, okay. I see a little purple.
yeah, like what he's wearing underneath the actual armor is the latex looks like is purple. I'm like, I'm not a fan of the colors. It's just, yeah.
Yeah. I guess after 50 years, you just gotta like keep trying different things. I don't know.
And like what he does to transform is very weird. Like he takes a thing, like I don't know what it is. And he's just kind of like and breathes on it and then transforms. Like, all right, that's odd.
Yes,
And then he does it when his helmet is on too, to transform into a different form. Like, well, hold on. How do you breathe with that breathe on the thing with the helmet on? That makes no sense. But yeah, ultimately it's a kid's show. So
yeah.
So yeah, the writing sometimes is not great because it's a kid show, but sometimes the writing is like, it's very good. Just so happens this time is not so much.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But so far, at least this is not my least favorite one. It's just down there. Okay. What about you? What have you watched?
Only I got a real live action TV show as well. No real action though. Not like Kamen Rider. I imagine has a lot of action, but
yeah.
This is a Hulu original. This is one I hadn't really heard of and just happened to come across it. It's called Only Murders in the Building. The cast the three main cast members include Steve Martin, Martin Short, Selena
You got me.
Gomez.
Wait. Okay. You had me at the first two.
Right? Like, I saw this and I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. Well, I don't hate Selena Gomez.
No.
So I'm just like, don't really know much about her. It's just I just know of her for the most part. But the premise of the show is these three live in an apartment building. And it's like this like ritzy, like real, like upper class style apartment building in like New York. I'm pretty sure it's New York. And was in Martin Short is like play producer, like that's where his background comes from. The Steve Martin is like an actor, and his like big claim to fame was this old like police detective show, kind of like a what's it called, like a Columbo-ish type show. Yeah. And then Selena Gomez, you don't really know too much about her. They don't really at the start, they don't really show too much about her or tell too much about her. She's kind of a mysterious character at the beginning. And all three of them are obsessed with crime drama podcasts.
Okay.
Where there's an incident that happens in their building where they have to like leave the building. Like everyone has to leave the building. Like it's a big apartment building. Like it's a huge New York apartment building.
Okay.
Multiple floors,
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it I also said upper class. So yeah, it's not just a, little thing. So there's a lot of people that had to leave, and then they end up going to like the same like restaurant ish area, and they end up discovering, oh, we're listening to the same crime podcast, the crime solving podcast they have, like the I can't even think
Serial
of one.
or
yeah, something like that.
But there was so many true crime podcasts. There is about as many true crime podcasts as there are video game podcasts.
Yeah, because the first couple got real popular, and then everyone wanted to make one.
Yeah.
So yeah, they wanted to jump on it, but so they discover that, and then they end up kind of forming a little friendship, and then they end up discovering someone was murdered in their building, and they rule it as suicide, but then they end up like figuring a couple things out, and it's like, we don't think it's suicide, so they end up deciding they're gonna create their own true crime podcast as the crime's being solved. And it's it's pretty good. There's a lot of mystery elements. There's comedy, but it's not just comedy. Being Steve Martin and Martin Short, it's not straight comedy. They do have comedy that breaks up a lot of serious tones and stuff, but they both are pretty serious. Martin Short is definitely the most goofy one. His character only eats dips. He talks about he hasn't like hummus and stuff like that. Like he hasn't had he hasn't eaten solid food in like, he says like, I don't know, it's a certain amount of years or whatever. And it's So his character is definitely the goofiest, I would say. But there's 4 episodes out already. This is Hulu original.
At any point in time, do Steve Martin or Martin Short come out in a mariachi outfit?
It's only been 4 episodes.
Okay.
So
there's still hope.
Time.
There's still hope.
There's still hope. Yeah. So the last episode, the 4th episode ended in a real like mysterious, like, oh my God type of way. And actually the beginning of the show is kind of like the beginning of the show kind of shows like I think it's like the first episode. It shows like them walking in and seeing Selena Gomez like it looked like she's covered in blood, kneeled over some body. So it's one of those where it's like it shows something mysterious and then it goes back in time, and
oh, it's
like,
just salsa.
She's like, it's not what it looks like, and then then you start to see like the origins and everything, and then it's going to be leading up to that point. It hasn't led up to that point yet, but it's really good. I'm really liking it. I really like these like thriller mystery type. I don't think that there's not enough mystery type shows. Like, sure, you have like crime dramas and stuff like that, but not like real mystery types. Like,
no,
it's more like, oh, here's a procedural crime drama where it's got this spin on it or this spin on it. Oh, this has a supernatural spin on it, or oh, this has a, there's not investigators quirky, or
there's not enough of the who done it type stuff, I think.
Yeah,
where like you are like actually given all of the information ahead of time if you were paying attention.
Exactly,
because like the crime dramas like CSI or NCIS, you are literally taken in handheld through the entire thing. And there's not it's that person because we said so. It becomes that. But not like we give the audience all of the clues, and then you can solve it ahead of time if you're good enough.
Yeah. I like that type of stuff.
I do too.
I love Knives Out. Knives Out was great.
Knives Out was great.
I can't wait till the sequel to that. Like, hopefully it's as good. But yeah, that type of stuff, mystery solving, not just like, oh, it's a procedural crime show, like, which I've watched a lot of those and I like those, I've watched a lot of those, from like Bones to Castle to NCIS to Lucifer has that is that in a way. Was it I want to watch that show Evil, which that looks like I haven't gotten a chance to watch that show, but that show looks like has its own flavor of that.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So, but like, it's a good mystery show. And it's got a great cast. Like, Selena Gomez is pretty good in this. I like her in this. Not really knowing much about Selena Gomez, I think, what have I watched with her in it? I'm trying to look. There's not a lot that I've watched of her. I can't even look at her IMDb right now.
I've definitely seen like some stuff when she was on the Disney Channel.
Well, yeah, you had younger sisters,
Yeah.
so yeah, you were that was a thing for you, but like that era of Disney wasn't really, I wasn't watching, Wizards of Waverly Place.
Yes, that's kind of where I really know her from.
Yeah. Like that, that was 2007 to 2012. I was, about to graduate high school right then. So
Yeah.
I wasn't watching Disney Channel
I was in college.
kids shows. Then.
I was in college.
Yeah. So, yeah, but she's pretty good in this, and her characters, like I said, there's a lot of mystery involved in her character, and there's it is like you say, where they're giving clues and slowly giving clues about stuff, and they're slowly giving clues about her and her backstory, and it's paced perfectly. I'm really enjoying this and intrigued, and can't wait to see more about her character, for instance, and and Steve Martin and Martin Short are great. Like,
yes,
because they're legends. So, and like I said, Martin Short is the real goofy character, and Steve Martin, he's got some goofy elements, but he's more of the like straight laced character.
I cannot think of the last thing I saw Martin Short in.
I don't know. Let me see.
Oh, you know what? It was probably Santa Claus 3.
Oh, yeah.
That was probably the last thing I saw him in.
Yeah, I'm looking at. Probably, yeah.
That special that Steve Martin and Martin Short did.
Yeah, he was in it says he was in a few episodes of How I Met Your Mother. That's I don't remember that, but that's probably the the last thing I saw, because I watched about all of that.
That Schmigadoon show, which I've heard good things about that.
Oh, the one with the
Too bad it's Apple TV, and I'll never see it.
That's on my list of stuff to watch, because you can get a free trial of Apple TV, I believe. So whenever I decide to sit down and watch that, yeah, there's a few things I want to watch on Apple TV, and apparently they have an Apple TV app for like Xbox and stuff. Like, you don't actually need an actual Apple TV to watch Apple TV now. There's apps for other, devices and stuff. So, yeah, I didn't know he was in that. Yeah, that looks like an interesting show.
It does.
Keegan-Michael Key in it.
And I've seen clips from it, and it definitely looks funny.
I haven't seen anything of it. So yeah, I've just seen it's a thing.
It makes fun of the old musicals.
Yeah,
from like our parents and grandparents,
like Wizard of Oz and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I like Keegan-Michael Key. I'm glad he's still doing comedy stuff.
Yes.
Unlike his
Peele.
Yeah, Jordan Peele, who's doing horror stuff. Which I don't do horror.
He's apparently really good at writing horror, but I'm just like,
yeah.
I'm not. Nope. Sorry.
He's killing it with his was it Get Out and
Us.
Us and Twilight Zone. He's doing the new Twilight Zone.
I think so.
Yeah. I don't do horror. Like I used to watch horror stuff as a kid with my mom, but that was more of a her thing, you know.
Yeah.
She liked horror stuff. Me, not a fan of it, you know. So, but yeah, I definitely would recommend Only Murders in the Building, which, yeah, it's good. For Hulu original, 4 episodes so far. Tuesday, I think, is when the new episodes come out. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's weird. Like, I like having something to look forward to, you know, the week to week thing. But I've really gotten spoiled with like Netflix style of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I really have, but I do like the week to week thing, you know, because you know it's just what we grew up with, what we're used to, and being able to talk to people about stuff,
Right.
you know,
And
shows every
and
week.
sometimes you're like, okay, I want to watch this show, but I want to watch the whole thing though.
And I guess that's the thing too, is like I don't have anyone to like discuss shows week to week with, like, you know, like I did back, you know, way back and stuff like that. So I guess that's another reason why I don't really like the week to week thing as much. But what else you got though?
Well, this is a movie that is on Amazon Prime. This is an Amazon Prime original. Came out
Ooh,
a couple months ago, actually. The Tomorrow War.
oh, I heard a lot of mixed things about this.
Yep. And you're hearing mixed things from me too. Yeah, when this came out, I saw a lot of articles that were like, you know, really like it's a good movie, but like there are some plot holes that are huge. And as I'm watching it, I'm like, I don't see them. And then I got to the last 30 minutes. I'm like, oh, I see them now. Anyway, the premise of this is people come back in time 30 years and recruit the people of that time to help them fight a war that they're losing against aliens in the future. And there's only like, and you have to be able to there are tests that have to be done in order to see if you're able to travel through time. And basically the prerequisite for traveling through time is at least traveling to the future. You have to be dead in that time. So most of the people who are being sent ahead are, you know, older people. And the people who came back are very young. And this stars Chris Pratt and I cannot pronounce her name, but the chick from Chuck.
Oh, okay, yeah. God, I haven't seen her in anything in like since Chuck.
Yeah, she's basically the leader of the people in the future, and kind of spoiler, Chris Pratt is her dad, which you actually see her as like a 9-year-old, you know, in Chris Pratt's time, and then he's sent ahead, and you know meets her when she's, you know, in her, you know, late 30s. But for the most part, it was a good movie, you know. It's very suspenseful. It really is. Because they're trying to create a toxin that will kill all of the aliens. And so far, they've only been managed to kill only the males, but the females still survive. And so something is stopping the females from being affected by the toxin. So it's basically a rush against time, because the people who are sent ahead are only there a week, 7 days, and then they're automatically sent back. And this has been going on for about a year in the time, like, waves, like.
So this isn't like a secret thing where like
No,
like a known thing to the world.
Well, they like the people who come back in time. They come and they appear in the middle of the World Cup. So like they just like they appear in the middle of the field, like, we have come from the future to recruit you to help us fight a war that we are losing in the future. And then basically a year passes before Chris Pratt is drafted. And he actually has an advantage that most people who are drafted don't have, as he's ex-military. So, he has experience where, Jill Soccer Mom does not. Because Jill Soccer Mom definitely was transported back in time, or transported forward in time too. I think it's worth a watch. But the last. Okay, I got a question for you. Put yourself in the place of one of the characters, a character that really has maybe like three minutes of airtime, but it's the general of the current of the. It's a general of the current time. Okay, one of the guys who comes back in the very last wave of people who were to return, because they can no longer send people forward in time because of reasons, comes back with a toxin in hand that will kill all of the aliens. And he says he comes to you and says, "I have a pretty good idea where they are. Would you go, okay, let's fight them now to stop the war that's happening in the future, or tell him to fuck off?" Guess which one happens in the movie?
But if they do it, the time paradox and blah blah quantum whatever stupid time plot reasons. I don't know.
Well, hey, guess what? They do that anyway. But
okay.
But that's like, it's like the last
sci-fi.
like 30 minutes of the movie. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why would you tell him to? He doesn't actually say fuck off, but he essentially does. Like, why? That makes no sense whatsoever. Because you spent the past year sending soldiers and citizens to die in this future war, and you are not going to do anything to stop it from happening? Okay. That is my biggest complaint about the movie, and that makes no sense whatsoever.
Apparently, Amazon's planning for this to be a trilogy.
I don't know how.
Different aliens.
I mean, the aliens that they fought were more xenomorph-like than they were like, these people have technology. Now, they were creatures.
Okay.
So there was no way that these aliens came to Earth on their own.
Ah, okay.
So that is a plot hole that I was like, yep. Like, because
is that really a plot hole, or just like
it's a
way to leave it open? Like maybe they were sent. Maybe
it is kind of left open. Like
wipe the planet.
It is never stated. Like that, the fact I just said is never stated. It's just something that I observed while watching the movie. Like, these are animals. These are not, intelligent beings. These are animals.
Okay. Interesting. Something I was interested in this until I saw all the mixed things, and then I'm like, oh, maybe I don't know.
I think
get around to it.
It's good, but like it's definitely has its it's that makes no sense issues. But is like I said, it's definitely suspenseful.
It is a movie streaming, so I view those typically differently. I typically give movies I see streaming, even if they came out in the theater and I just saw them. I waited until it was streaming. I typically give those type of movies a bit more lenience. It's like I'm not as critical because I didn't pay $30 to go see this in the theaters,
right.
type of thing,
right?
So maybe I actually will watch this then. Yeah,
it's all right.
It's Chris Pratt.
It's Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt being Chris Pratt.
Kinda. He's not his normal like jokey self. Like he does make jokes from time to time, but it's not like he's in the middle of a war.
Oh yeah,
fighting creatures. It's serious. Through most of it.
I've seen Chris Pratt in some serious stuff,
and he himself is somewhat of a scientist too. I mean, it's him being a scientist that causes his daughter to be a scientist.
Okay.
So. What else have you watched?
Where's my list? Okay, I got a movie I watched on Hulu, a Hulu original.
Mm-hmm.
This is one I told you a little. It was maybe a month and a half ago. I was like, oh, this looks kind of funny. I saw the trailer for this. I would never normally like a movie with this particular person just because I've never really seen a lot of stuff I like with him, but it's called Vacation Friends with with John Cena. Was it John Cena and then what's his name? Lil Rel Howery.
Yeah, that's how I would say it.
Yeah. Which I watched something else with him. We'll talk later about, but yeah, this is was it Lil Rel Howery is the main character, or is I would say he's like the main character. Him and his he's on vacation with his significant other, and he's planning to propose, and things are not going too great. things are, just going bad. And you know, they end up meeting John Cena and his significant other, and they end up like hanging out and doing all kinds of crazy stuff and having fun. And he's kind of the Marcus, he's kind of the straight man, but I've got some comedy, I'll chime in some stuff here and there, but he's kind of a straight man, not like kind of a little uptight, one of those type of characters who's, his comedy comes from, oh, I'm uptight, I'm not going to do this. What the hell are you talking about? Type, craziness. And John Cena's just him and the chick they got to play like his girlfriend,
Meredith Haggard.
They are both just on, like, they're on, crank it up to 11. No, crank it up to 13 or 14. Like, they are just crazy the whole time. And it works. Like, it's enjoyable and it's entertaining. But like, and they slowly introduce, like, as they're riding to the hotel, they see like John Cena and the chick like riding a jet ski, and she's like doing drugs while she's in the back of a jet ski, and just like this the craziest, most bizarre things, and it's also John Cena's character is also the things just happen for me. I just make things happen. The great things just fall in my lap, type of thing. Well, so they do all kinds of crazy stuff, and then it skips to like 6 months or whatever later, where it's the actual marriage of, like, the wedding of Marcus and his fiance Emily, and lo and behold, John Cena and that shows up and is like, why didn't you, and craziness ensues. And it's not the most original, like, storyline. Like, we've seen similar storylines of this in the past, but it's a funny movie. It's hilarious. I enjoyed it. It's hour 43 minutes. It's not too long. It's not, it's a good comedy. I'd recommend people check it out if they're looking for a good comedy. I would just happen to be like, oh, this is on. Okay, I'll watch this. It's, I don't want to watch anything too long, or, because it was like, I think I was watching it before I was going to bed or something. And it's like, I don't want anything too long or intense, or I'll just watch this. This will be a fun thing to watch.
Right.
And, type of thing. And, I remember I watched the trailer and I'm like, oh, that seemed kind of funny. John Cena, he seemed funny in that trailer, which he's, all the stuff I've seen is he's just been like kind of emotionless or emotionalist, and like just like straight laced, and like, oh, I'm the tough guy type, where it's like, not a lot of acting. But this, like, he's crazy, goofy, wacky, like, it's pretty good. This is probably the best thing I've seen John Cena in.
Yeah, the trailer, he definitely looked like, wow, John Cena can actually act. That's amazing.
Right? Like, yeah. It's like night and day difference from like him and, Suicide Squad, where, like there were some jokes, but it was more like jokes because he was so straight laced, like type thing. Or him in, I don't think you've seen it, but him in Fast 9 was kind of,
I haven't seen it yet.
Blah. Yeah, he was just kind of like, oh, I'm an action star. I'm an evil action baddie, whatever. No, just not a lot of acting in that. But in this, yeah, it's pretty good. I enjoyed this. I like a good comedy too, and it feels like there aren't that many good comedies. Like I feel like there a lot of comedies that come out nowadays are just dumb. Just like I feel like it's just dumb humor, you know. And this has some of those moments too. I'll give it that, you know. But like, you know, I don't know. This just it felt fun. It was a fun movie to watch. I enjoyed it. So I'd recommend that. It's a Hulu original. Vacation Friends. What's another thing you got?
I got one more thing before a common one we both have. Another movie I watched called Infinite. This
Okay.
this stars Marky Mark. Uh, and he plays
Speaking of bad acting.
yeah. He plays a guy who there's a group of people in the world who remember all of their past lives.
Okay.
So like all of the skills that they learned, you know, in the past, they can do them now. And there are two groups of these people. One who basically think this is a curse and is trying to end it. And another who think, you know, this is a gift and they are going to use this gift to the betterment of the human race.
I mean, it depends on what your past lives were, I guess, right? Like I could see both ways,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah.
Well, you know, like it's not like they just now remember all of their past lives, but like back then, they're basically they every time that they reincarnate, they remember everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's basically
Gotcha.
like they've been living this really long life, just with a different face every now and then.
I could see that being like a curse. Yeah, because like that would influence like your decisions. Like
Yeah.
so you wouldn't be able to like start fresh. Yeah, that would suck. Yeah, I wouldn't like that.
Well, the main character, you know, like or like the antagonist is like, yeah, I don't like it either. So in order to stop that, in order to stop the cycle, we have to kill everything in existence. So we've designed this thing that will kill the entire planet. So, yeah, there's that.
Little bit extreme, little bit.
A little bit. And the movie starts off with it's like it's the previous life of basically the main character Treadway has stolen the thing that will kill everybody and everything on the planet, and is running away from, you know, from the other side. And I'm watching this going, okay, they've not given a date. All right.
I was about to ask, yeah, like when does this take place?
They've not given a date for this particular scene. But I'm like, he's driving a Ferrari. That's a very iconic Ferrari. Quick Google search. Okay. That's a Ferrari Testarossa. That wasn't made until at least 1984. How old is Marky Mark? He's 50. Huh. That math doesn't add up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's 50 in real life, but
Yeah, but then he'd be playing a 30-year-old. But yeah,
Does this take place like our time?
it doesn't give a date, and there's some tech is like, well, there's some like Tony Stark-esque kind of tech, like when he meets the side that they call themselves the Believers, who they're they're all about the betterment of humanity, comes crashing through this wall in a indestructible Aston Martin. The chick goes, okay, you drive, and the steering wheel and console are sucked into the dashboard and pop out on the other side. I'm like, okay, yep, there's some not real tech. And then later in the movie, the bad guy is controlling a bunch of drones using a Tony Stark like hologram. So it's like there's some sci-fi tech in this that
Bathurst? That's the bad guy?
Bathurst, yes. That's
See, even IMDb, like it says, okay, this Rupert Friend played Bathurst 1985, and then the other guy, which I'm gonna try to slaughter his name, is Bathurst 2020.
okay.
So yeah, that doesn't even make sense. Like,
yep.
yeah. So I get where you what you mean. Yeah.
Is it quite like the math of the years don't add up? That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Unless they age, unless their age is accelerated.
Nope.
With each life.
Nope.
Okay.
At least that's not
the only thing I could have thought
mentioned.
of. Yeah.
But
I don't know that. Yeah.
Somehow, and the main character has somehow also figured out, because throughout his lives, have somehow figured out a way to control the energy around him. It's not made sense.
Okay.
And it's also not really shown, except for one scene. Like in the 19, now that I know it's 1985, he sticks his hand out the window, and like some effects happens around his hand. I just thought it was okay. He's preparing himself to reincarnate. That's honestly what I thought when it happened. And then later, when Marky Mark is on top of a AC-130 with a Japanese sword, he's holding on to a Japanese sword stuck into the wing of an AC-130 while it's in the air. Figures out he can stand up and the wind doesn't affect him. And Bathurst has, for some reason, a camera pointed to that wing while he's in the cockpit saying, that's impossible. And then nothing like that ever happens again. Like, that is like the only, like, what? Why? Why was that? Why was that even a thing? If you're not going to do anything with it. But also kind of the whole premise is that at an early age, Mark Wahlberg's character was diagnosed with schizophrenia and has been taking antipsychotic meds, and that stopped him from remembering his past.
I was about to say, I imagine a lot of people probably have schizophrenia if they remember past lives.
Well, they don't. It doesn't come like right when they're born, except for Bathurst. Bathurst says that he remembers all of his past lives when he's in the womb, and he comes to basic consciousness while he's in the womb, and is basically stuck there for months, and is in this claustrophobic space. I'm like, yes, that would be horrifying.
Sounds like anime.
But most of the people don't remember their past lives till puberty. And that's around the time that Mark Wahlberg's character was diagnosed with schizophrenia when taking antipsychotics. That has basically stopped him, as well as a car accident he had that put a metal plate in his head. That has basically stopped him from remembering. And that's why he's so old when and doesn't know anything.
Sounds like a Mark Wahlberg movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is.
I'm looking at his IMDb and not a lot of hits. At least I don't feel that way for Mark Wahlberg. Like,
What? No. I will never forget that scene and happening. What? No. Like the worst line delivery in all of acting. even worse than a lot of non-actors that have speaking roles.
oh, he's gonna be the $6 billion man. Because they're making that a movie.
I'm okay with that being a thing, but Mark Wahlberg being Steve Austin, maybe somebody else.
I like how it's $6 billion now.
I mean, it would have to be.
Yeah, 6 million ain't nothing. Like, no.
6 million is not going to do what they want it to do. Because back in like the 70s, 6 million was a lot of money and could get you a lot of stuff done.
Oh yeah,
not so much
it's
anymore.
the Austin Powers joke.
Yes.
Yeah,
$1 million. It's not a lot of money anymore.
Yeah. I don't think I'll be watching this movie. So
That's okay. You will not miss out on this one. This is on Paramount Plus. It's a Paramount Plus original movie.
There's too many streaming services.
Yeah.
Like, how can they can't all like coexist permanently, right? There's going to have to be some that fail. Like,
well, with Paramount Plus though, I have it tied in with my Amazon account. I pay it through Amazon, so I watch it on Amazon.
Yeah, but you're still paying, though.
Yes.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's just so many of these, and it seems like every company's trying to make their own. I'm surprised Sony doesn't have, a paid one. I know they have like Crackle, that's their free one, but I'm surprised they don't have a paid one or whatever, like, I don't know. It just seems like there's so many and they're just raising their prices. Like Hulu, they're raising their prices. I got a notice about that. And I'm wouldn't be surprised if Netflix raises theirs again soon.
Oh, they raise theirs every year.
Yeah. It's just, it just feels like it's got to give. Like it feels like it's as bad as cable, now having all these different,
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like you don't have to pay it all the time, though. You can actually just pay for what the thing you want to watch and then stop.
That's true, but I don't know. I feel like it's got to give. Like they can't just these companies can't keep making their own. Like, like there's got to be a limit to how many there are, right? Like, anyways, Guess I got one more real quick before we talk about our shared one. It's an older movie, but a sequel just came out recently, and it's one I've been wanting to watch for a good amount of time.
The Matrix.
The Hitman's Bodyguard.
Oh.
Of course, the sequel is Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. But this is Hitman's Bodyguard. This came out in 2017, which I can't believe it came out that long ago. Like,
That was a while ago.
yeah, I don't know. I guess I just feel like it wasn't that long ago, but it was. But yeah, I checked this. I decided to watch this because it's just something I've been wanting to watch, and then the sequel's out, so I was like, okay, Samuel L. Jackson, Ryan Reynolds, hell yeah, I'll watch that. I like both of them. Then you throw in Gary Oldman and what's it called? Selma Hayek. Hell yeah. I'm on board. What is it? It's Ryan Reynolds plays a bodyguard type character who's like at the beginning of the movie he's like the world's top bodyguard, and he's like, high tech, all this. He's got plans for everything. Everything is, like he's guarding someone, taking someone to like the airport, and there's like, fleets of different cars and different employees he has, and he's like some would say over prepared, but that's his job, is to protect the person, and he gets, it shows this big production he has where, and like I forget what his like catchphrase is, like boring is better, because I think the person's like, well, that wasn't exciting, that wasn't exciting, nothing really happened, and his thing is like, well, boring is better, you don't want anything exciting to happen because that means someone's trying to kill you, so boring is better. And he gets the person, they're on the plane, and he's like, great, and then sniper kills the target while they're sitting in the plane when it's about to take off. That ended up ruining his career, because once you lose a client to death, as a bodyguard, that tends to sour things.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Samuel L. Jackson? He's a hitman, the Hitman's Bodyguard. There we go. And he's about to like turn over evidence or whatever, because they've got his wife, like, they've arrested his wife for whatever reason, and they're leveraging that for him to turn over evidence on this former dictator or former president or whatever, Gary Oldman's character. And pretty much, it's just, I don't want to give away too much, but it's, it ends up being Ryan Reynolds ends up coming in and trying to protect Samuel L. Jackson, but Samuel L. Jackson, he has his own set of skills, and they both kind of clash, and hilarity ensues. So it's kind of a buddy cop type movie, but without the buddy cops. Where it's the two characters, they're both, like they're trying to get him to was it they're in Europe. I can't remember like where exactly, but they're in Europe, and they're trying to get Sam Jackson's character to like to the trial or whatever, to testify against Gary Oldman's like dictator president character of some country or whatever who was horrible and, you know, war crimes and killed people and all this, you know, just a horrible person type thing. And, you know, meanwhile, Gary Oldman's trying to send people to kill Sam Jackson. And yeah, so it's a good movie. It's a good popcorn flick. You know, it's not the most like, you know, it didn't win any awards, doesn't deserve to win any awards, but it was a good action popcorn flick movie. And I'm excited to see the next one. Just for the same reasons, you know, because, you know, not all movies have to be, you know, like award-winning quality. You know, I like a good popcorn film action flick type movie, you know. And you got Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds, Samuel L. Jackson being Samuel L. Jackson. Like, what more do you want from those two?
Uh-huh.
I mean, like, they're literally themselves. Like, you know, and that's great. That's all I need from those two. Like, you know.
Looking up images on IMDb, it looks like the German name for this movie is Killer's Bodyguard. And the French name is Hitman and Bodyguard.
Yeah. Selma Hayek is great in this. She's hilarious. She's the sleeper hit of this movie, I think. Like, I can't wait to see the second one just to see her, you know, see that character again in, you know, a more prominent role. But yeah, like you wouldn't expect, like, I wouldn't necessarily expect Selma Hayek to be like, to play the character she's playing in this. Like, it's great. So yeah.
Now, where did you watch this at?
Was it did I watch this? I think I watched this like on demand. I had like,
okay, it's available to rent. Okay.
Yeah, it's rent. I had an email that was like, hey, try 14 days, no credit card needed. Come back and try 14 more days of Sling TV. And I was like, okay, sure, why not? If I don't have to enter a credit card, I'll try that. And I watched through that.
Okay.
Sling TV, not great still. So, but I was able to watch this for free. So it took it was a bit of a chore to get all that set up and figure out how to, you know, watch, how to do, you know, because their UI is just, it's not good. And I know you have your issues with Sling TV, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah. But yeah, so that's that. I'm looking forward to watching the sequel. And I gotta say, Selma Hayek, she still looks so good. Like,
that she does.
She looks amazing still. It's hard to believe she's 50. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's in Eternals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she is. Yeah. That'll be interesting. Alrighty, let's see. What's our last thing we
What If?
both watched?
What If?
Oh, I thought we had something else. I forgot about What If. Yeah, didn't you see a movie though too in theaters?
No. We talked about
Free Guy,
and I said, "Oh, I completely forgot about Free Guy."
I forgot about What If, and you forgot about Free Guy. Yeah, Free Guy.
You mentioned Ryan Reynolds, and that should have jogged my memory.
Well, that's why I said something that had that other the little Ray, what's his name? Howery. He's in Free Guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is.
Yeah. I'm like, you saw Free Guy, didn't you?
I
Okay,
forgot
so we got two more
I did.
things. That's what happens when we wait an extra week, you know? We start to forget things. But
Yeah. Yeah, I saw Free
This
Guy.
one. I did too.
And it was very good. It was very good. I enjoyed it.
It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I was kind of worried that this was going to be kind of cheesy and like not, just like too much. But yeah, it was great. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, it was. I feel like the articles that were saying like this is the best video game movie out there to date. A little bit much. Like that makes me get a little bit overhyped than it actually is, but it was very enjoyable.
I mean, it was basically a GTA Online movie.
It was GTA Online. Yes.
I got a question. When you went to see this, did they have the interview with like Ryan Reynolds and Taika Waititi and before like the previews?
No, but I have seen it.
Yeah. We're so glad that we're able to work with each other. We've been wanting to work with each other for such a long time. And then the other two actors are like, didn't you work together before? Didn't Oh yeah, Green Lantern. And they're like, what? No, what? No.
We don't talk about
that. Was hilarious. Yeah. It's like, oh, do you mean Green Hornet? No, not that was Seth Rogen. No, that wasn't us. Yeah. I just love how Ryan Reynolds has taken Green Lantern and he's just like owned it.
Yes.
Like it's just a meme now. Like it's great. I can't think of any actor. I was thinking about this during that. I can't think of any actor who has taken like a horrible movie they've done and just have spun it into such like positivity as Ryan Reynolds has with Green Lantern. You know?
Yeah, you're right. I don't think there is another one that's like that.
It's impressive. Like it's great, but just like this movie, Free Guy.
Now, there are some things that this movie has in it that I don't care who you are. It's I've not seen it good ever. And that's when they have streamers in the movie.
Oh God. That's my complaint.
Always bad. And like, while I knew most of the streamers, and there was one, I'm like, he still is a thing. Okay. I didn't realize that, that Dan TDM was still a thing.
I don't think I knew who that was. Yeah. I only knew like half of the streamers, I think. Like, was like Ninja and Pokemon, right? Or
Pokemon A. Jacksepticeye.
So yeah, that I recognized him. Yeah, there was some I was just like, I don't know who that is, and I'm okay with that.
Oh, Landon was one of them too.
Oh yeah, I recognize that. Yeah, him. Just because he was in Rooster Teeth stuff,
yeah,
right?
I only know him from Rooster Teeth stuff.
That was before he blew up, though, right? Like,
kind of during.
Yeah, that stuff was bad. Like, and nobody it's like that wouldn't happen. People wouldn't watch Ninja watch, like,
I mean, well, no, that is the thing that people
other
watching
streamers?
Ninja watching something else. That does happen.
Oh, really? Okay.
As somebody who this week watched Tim the Tap Man watch the Call of Duty trailer, that is the thing that happens.
Well, I mean, yeah, reactions to stuff like that. Yeah, that. But I mean, like, full streams of stuff. Like,
have you ever watched Pokemon at all? Because that is her thing.
No.
She watches other streamers. People watch her watch other streamers.
That's weird.
It's kind of what she does.
I don't like that.
No, that's not the only thing she does, but that is a thing that she does do. So does XQC. Like a lot of the top streamers, when they want to like take a break or something from like playing the game, they will watch other streamers, and people watch other streamers with them. It's weird.
I feel that's weird. Yeah,
it's very weird. But also, like, they would not have like a stream like this, like on like one of the giant video screens in Times Square, or some back room in some Chinese restaurant that everybody is gathered around the TV. That does not happen. I don't.
Yeah, well, I mean, this also isn't like, I imagine this isn't supposed to be our world necessarily, because this game doesn't exist. Free City doesn't exist in our world to begin with.
But GTA Online does.
Yeah. But even that's not as big as they made this seem to be in the world,
Yeah, but it still felt like it was too big.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like, this is definitely, yeah, I don't know if there's anything really that big besides, like, I don't know, maybe the World Cup that would get that many people watching something.
Yes.
At once,
Yeah. But
it was interesting. It was a lot. There was a lot more to this movie than I thought there was through the trailers. I thought it was just going to be like, I don't know, just I was worried that it was going to be kind of shallow and not a lot to it. But I do like the whole AI aspect of it, where we learn the main character, minor spoilers. I won't spoil too much, but when we find out the main characters, like, or the two of the main characters, like, created this video game that had this crazy AI system, and it's potentially in Free City, this GTA Online game, and
yes,
that's how this one, the main female character, that's why she's in the game, and she's trying to find proof, for a lawsuit, and she ends up running into Guy, which is Ryan Reynolds' character, who's a bank teller, and he ends up becoming aware, and you got a lot of like Matrixy type stuff going on.
Yeah.
I like that whole aspect to it.
This movie was originally shot when it was, because this was a Fox movie, and it still is, but this was when Fox was not part of Disney. This was actually being shot during that acquisition.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's stuff they added to it afterwards.
Oh, no doubt. And I thought that was the funniest part.
Sure.
That was the funniest part, was like, oh no, yeah, we're now part of Disney. We can use this stuff now. We can use these now. And I thought that was funny.
The cameo, I told you I was spoiled by the cameo, and you weren't, luckily. What did you think
no,
of that?
I was like, oh, okay. That was like,
It was funny.
like, oh, yep. I mean, it makes sense because of what's going on. Like, oh, yep. They would, but why are they watching the stream? Okay, yeah, all right.
But man, then when they used the theme, like
They used the theme, and that was amazing.
That was such a good theme. I love that theme. Like, spoilers, the Avengers theme.
It's the Avengers theme.
Yeah. It's such a good. Like, every time I hear the Avengers theme, it always just gets me psyched. Like,
brings a little tear to my eye. Just, I'm so happy.
yeah.
It's
Just so good. Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. Like, it's
they exaggerate
really like talking about points in the movie.
Yeah, I love how they like exaggerate, like, you know, like GTA Online, because GTA Online gets pretty dumb and crazy. Like, oh, here's a motorcycle that can fly.
Yes.
You know, and it's just like, yeah, let's just take that and let's ramp that up and see, you know, and it's like, yeah, well, it's some of the stuff in Free Guy is silly and goofy and seems kind of dumb, but like, give GTA some time. And
look,
here's between that and Fortnite.
Here's a cop in a bunny suit. Yep. Oh, that's GTA.
Of that. Yeah. That and Fortnite, you know.
Yeah.
With this different skins and stuff. Yeah. So it's good. I liked it. It was fun. Like
Fortnite was also kind of referenced a little bit.
I mean, they did the emotes and the dances and stuff. Yeah.
I always was more talking about the building.
Oh yeah.
When they in the construction area.
Yeah. Yeah. Taika Waititi was great. He was hilarious in this.
He's so always good.
Great. Yeah. He played douchey, like just fantastic. He was great as a giant douche character.
He's what I actually imagine, you know, CEOs of certain companies actually like Activision.
I was thinking Bobby Kotick, yeah.
Like Activision.
That's what I was thinking. Oh God, and I love dude. Dude was great.
Dude. Insert catchphrase here. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. Oh.
And third thing.
Yeah. Like the trailers don't do this movie justice, I think. Like I said, I remember seeing the trailers and I was a little worried because I thought this was just going to be like, oh, we're going to make fun of gamers and, you know, one of those type of things, you know, because we've had movies in the past where it's like, oh yeah, we're in a virtual reality and, you know, and they did do stuff where they made fun of gamers and stuff, you know,
there was a cameo.
Don't touch that sock, Mom. You're going to be traumatized. I was like, oh, I'm God, really?
Yes.
Did you really? Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was too much of that, I think. Like, too much of that character.
Like, I'm looking at a list of the like all of the celebrity cameos, and they were like, they were more than you thought because they didn't really like. I didn't catch it, but my sister did. Did you catch the Hugh Jackman cameo?
I don't think so.
Hugh Jackman was the guy that told what's her face, the main chick, where to go to get the video clip. You never saw his face. It was only his voice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't feel bad. I'm not the biggest Hugh Jackman fan, so I wouldn't be able to pick out his voice, or necessarily recognize him if he was like dressed a certain way, maybe, But yeah, so I don't feel too bad about that. But yeah,
apparently
that's cool though.
The Rock was in it. Did not know that. Did not catch The Rock. John Krasinski was in it. Did not catch John Krasinski.
No.
Tina Fey. Nope, didn't catch Tina Fey.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, Tina
Fey was the mom.
It's a mom, yeah. Oh, Alex Trebek. That made me sad.
I was like, Alex Trebek.
That made me sad. I remember that. I was a little sad.
Yeah.
When I saw that. Yeah. I was like, it was sad, but I was glad that it was glad. Yeah. That we got Alex Trebek. We got one last thing from Alex Trebek.
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah. And the streamer stuff. Yeah. So yeah, like I expected, like we said, the dude, the whole vacuuming mom, all that stuff, the kid yelling at his mom, or the adult, I guess, yelling at all that making fun of that type of, which what a lot of people think gamers are like, or a good amount of people, when they think of video gamers, they have that in their mind.
Yes.
I figured there'd be more of that in this movie. Unfortunately, there wasn't, thankfully.
There's only that one guy.
Yeah. It was unfortunate that we even had that, but I'm glad that was it, because there's been, like I said, there's been a lot of these movies where it's like this, where they just go gung ho, and it's like, oh yeah, this is what movie directors think gamers are. Great.
I mean, they do exist, but there's more of us too. There's more that are not like that too.
Yeah. True. So, so I'm definitely glad we didn't get, we got gamers were represented better in this, I should say. Yeah. So, Free Guy. It's worth watching, I think.
Absolutely, it is.
Had to go to the theater to see it. Still not a lot of people in my theater when I went to see this. Like,
there were like this was the most I've seen in a theater since Infinity War.
I'm trying to think.
And I was actually in a theater that did not have the one seat between people.
Oh yeah.
Like, I didn't sit next to somebody, but my sister did.
Oh yeah. I haven't been in a position where I've had to, it's either the most, or Fast 9 maybe was the most, and it still wasn't a lot of people, And my town, like I've told you, my city only has one theater now, so 100,000 people, only one theater. So yeah, I guess people just aren't going to see movies here. I don't know, but hey, fine by me. If I don't have to be in a packed theater, I'm happy.
I'm kind of curious. I'm just looking up like Shang-Chi like right now. If I went right now. Boy, that's an empty theater.
It did well, but not. I've heard it didn't do better than Black Widow, like its opening weekend or whatever. But
Also, this is one of the larger theaters too, so it just makes it look extra empty.
Yeah. I believe I saw. Did I see this in a normal theater, or did I see I might have just saw this in a normal theater setting? Yeah. Yeah, it was just a normal theater, not the IMAX. So yeah, worth seeing. I like that. I like movies are back. I like being able to go see movies in theaters, have that experience. Definitely picking and choosing though, not going to see everything because there's a lot of. I'm looking and there's like not a lot of Shang-Chi's probably the only movie coming out this month that I want to go see. Like nothing else this month looks that great.
Yeah, I don't know what else there is.
Which I'll probably see Shang-Chi this weekend, maybe, because we got nothing else to do this weekend.
I probably will too. Although my usual movie going group probably won't be with me because there's a wedding soon.
Okay,
so
yeah.
They're a bit more busier than I am with that.
Gotcha. I guess what if now?
Yeah, what if?
What was the last episode we talked about?
We only talked about the first two.
Okay, yeah.
Which at that time I had my issues with what if, and I think with the latest ones, they've been much better.
I still really liked episode 2 a lot. The what if T'Challa was Star-Lord. I still thought that was fun and interesting.
The one after that,
what if the world lost its mightiest heroes?
Yeah. Trying to think of what it was called. Fury's busiest week.
Oh, is that what's on IMDb? It's
no.
If
like this happened during Fury's busiest week. Okay. Because there were 3 movies that happened within the same week.
In the same week, yeah.
And I really liked that episode.
It was great. We talking earlier. I was talking earlier about mysteries and stuff, and this was definitely had that mystery solving vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was not the. It was not a spot the difference that the first 2 episodes were. This was more of this is suspenseful episode, just on its own. It's a suspenseful bit of entertainment, and it was very good. It held on its own. It was not good because of this other thing. It was good on its own. And that was somebody was killing off all of the Avengers. And this is the first time since the Incredible Hulk that we've seen Betty Ross. We've not seen a Betty Ross with Mark Ruffalo until this.
Or even mentioned.
Yeah, or even mentioned.
We've seen, the General Ross. Yeah,
yes, we've seen him. And it was literally taken from a scene from The Incredible Hulk. Like that whole bit, I was great. I liked that because up until now, like people say, like, yeah, that movie's part of the MCU, but it was never really because the Hulk has not had his own movie since then.
Yeah,
it's not
because of licensing issues. Yeah.
It's not really been like established, like what happened to Betty, what about, and I guess we'll finally get, the answers to this question. What about, Abomination? What happened to him? And we'll finally get those answers with Shang-Chi.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's in the trailer. Yeah.
He's in the freaking trailer.
Yeah.
And he looks more like his comic version than he did in that movie.
It's still crazy that all the all the actors they got to play the voices. Like it's still crazy.
Yeah.
Every episode, I'm still not used to it.
I believe the ones did not get were Betty Ross.
And
Black Widow.
There's some that's kind of confusing because, like why didn't we get Scarlett Johansson?
I don't know.
It's not like she doesn't do voice acting. Like has a movie coming out. Was it Sing 2, where she's voice acting?
Yeah, and this all was recorded well before that whole lawsuit
drama
stuff.
Yeah. So that was kind of like, really? Oh, you couldn't do that, but okay. But you couldn't get her, but you got Michael Douglas. Like, that's one I wouldn't necessarily expect you to get to do voice acting. Like,
or Kurt Russell in the T'Challa one. Like for that that one line.
Yeah. I'm just looking at IMDb for the episode, and it's just like, you got Sam Jackson, Michael Douglas, Clark Gregg, Frank Grillo, Jeremy Renner, Mark Ruffalo, Tom Hiddleston, Jamie Alexander. Like, that's a lot of people for like a 30-minute episode, like.
Oh, also Robert Downey Jr. was not in this because I think he is done with Marvel. He's done.
Yeah.
Like I've heard he's even unfollowed like his Marvel castmates on social media, which why is that news?
Until like he tries some new movie and it bombs, and then they're like, hey, maybe you want to just do the voice and be like an AI Tony Stark that comes, like, we'll pay you this much. Because that'd be cool if they brought Tony Stark back as like AI Tony Stark, like they have in the comics and stuff. I could see that.
Yeah.
It's not a whole lot for him to do, then, but yeah, this was great. I enjoyed this episode.
I really enjoyed this episode. Then we got, what if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands? I thought this was also really good.
Oh, it was great. It was like, man, you thought there was darkness from like, the previous episode.
This one,
no.
Actually, these 3 episodes got darker as they've gone.
Even the end of the T'Challa Star-Lord, that the ending of that was dark, and that's Like, oh, the world's doomed. And then from there, it just got dark and darker and even darker. Yeah. This is great though. I enjoyed it as well. You know, and you got Benedict Cumberbatch. Hey, you know, they got Tilda Swinton,
Rachel McAdams, Benedict Wong.
Yeah, like
they had the entire cast. Like there was not a single one missing.
No.
You had additional voices for this one, but still, like everybody was in this one.
Yeah.
And this was just, what if, you know, instead of Doctor Strange getting hurt in that crash, Christine was killed, and basically, you know, Doctor Strange then went down a dark path of trying to go back in time and change history.
Was she in a car wreck with him in the movie?
No, she was not in that car.
That's okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, I didn't think that was the case.
Which makes it odd because, like, it was a kind of a Groundhog's Day like thing, because like he went back and did it so many times, so many different ways, but it still ended up the same way of her dying. I thought that was interesting, because even when they didn't go on that road, something still happened where she died.
Yeah. But and also it also felt like I don't know, like you had to suspend some suspend some sense, you know, whatever the phrase is, I forgot, but like it was a bit different because like Doctor Strange wasn't necessarily Doctor Strange, you know, in the movie, like because he was a lot more emotional and, you know, cared and showed his feelings towards, you know, Rachel McAdams' character a lot quicker, and, you know, because they were going out on a date and he was in the, you know, all that stuff. So yeah, like it was a little different. I've heard some people complain about that. I didn't really have much of an issue with that.
I had no issue whatsoever.
I like the new character they introduced in this. It's from Doctor Strange's the librarian, the
Obeng. However you say his name.
Apparently that is a Doctor Strange character, and like this is the first time he's been in, you know, like they introduced him in What If, which is kind of funny. It's like the first like new character in the MCU we've gotten through What If. I think, right? Besides the Watch. Well, no, we've gotten Watchers.
Yeah, we've had Watchers before, so yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he was a good character. I liked it.
And this actually was the only time that a character interacted with Uatu.
Yeah.
Because he actually spoke directly to Uatu. And this one did not have a happy ending. Nope. It was
no.
That world is gone. That universe is destroyed.
But Doctor Strange is still there. Like,
yes.
Which is interesting. Yeah. Like I wonder if there's going to be any chance of like a multiversal Avengers type episode, you know?
I don't know. I mean, we've seen trailers and stuff, and we've seen Captain Carter in something else.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, not necessarily for this season, you know, either.
That is entirely possible.
That would be kind of cool, you know, like, oh, something's happening. The Watcher's going to gather these people together because he's supposed to watch and not interfere, but he's a Uatu, so he's the worst Watcher ever. He always interferes.
The Beyonder has appeared and has gathered them all in this one world and has them fighting.
Oh, that would be kind of cool. I'd be down for that. Yeah, this was great. I did hear a complaint, which I kind of, it doesn't bother me as much, but I see where they come from. Benedict Cumberbatch seemed like it felt like his voice acting got better through the episode. Like maybe the director didn't like do too many takes, like.
Oh, I see what you mean.
So he got into the role later. I've heard some complaints about that, and I kind of see that, and I kind of feel that with some of these actual actors voice acting. Like some of these actual actors voicing, it's like they don't feel right. It doesn't feel like their acting is that great. And then it slowly gets better. Some not so much, and we'll talk about that next. We'll talk about that when we get into the next episode. I got a kind of a complaint there. Which next one is what if ... zombies.
Zombies. I like the episode title of this one. What if zombies?
Yeah.
What if zombies?
I feel like Sebastian Stan his voice acting's not that great.
He didn't say a whole lot. He didn't say a whole lot.
It wasn't that great in Captain Carter either. God, there was a line he had that I was just like, oh, really? Okay, sure. Like it just fell flat. I can't remember, but yeah. I liked this episode a lot. It was fun. They didn't get Tom Holland, but they got someone who was really good.
Yes.
Like it wasn't necessarily Tom Holland, but it was the next best thing. I feel like, it felt like Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
It really did. Like he definitely embodied that Spider-Man very well.
Yeah, I liked the voice actor for that a lot too, And here's another one, like Mark Ruffalo, Paul Bettany, Chadwick Boseman, Sebastian Stan, Evangeline Lilly, Paul Rudd, Jon Favreau, Emily Van Camp, like just goes on and on and on. Like it's crazy how many people they got. Like
yeah, other than Spider-Man, Captain America, everybody was here. That had a voice line.
Yeah,
because Iron Man did not speak, or really even made a sound.
Oh yes, yeah.
He made a sound at least.
Yeah.
Which honestly, anybody could fill that role of just like.
Oh, you got the dude who played Ebony Maw, even like.
Which
I'm sure
great.
They could have gotten anybody.
I kind of laughed at that one because in Infinity War, like when he shows up, there's people all over the place for him to give that speech to. This one, he shows up, there is nobody on that street, and he is giving that speech to nobody. But he's just continuing on with his speech, like as if people are there and can hear him.
I love the cape. The cape was great. I was so happy every time the cape did something. Yeah.
Paul Rudd was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Oh, Paul. I mean, when is he not?
Paul Rudd was absolutely hilarious. He kept making these head jokes, and they were so funny.
Yeah. Like, when's Paul Rudd not great? Like, he's always great.
That is true, but he was so funny in this.
It took me a second to figure out who Kurt was just because he didn't his what if like representation did not really look
look like him. But
him.
I was like, oh no, that's that guy. That's supposed to be that guy.
Yeah, it's Polka Dot Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, once I figured that out, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. They got him. Yeah, I like that character.
Like, oh, it also made me realize, like, oh, a lot of these characters have not even met. Like Sharon Carter, I don't think has met any of those people in the actual movies, except for Bucky.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's great. I loved it. Really dark. Yeah, pretty dark. The whole Vision and Wanda like reveal was crazy.
Yeah. Well, what got me was like, oh yeah, they're zombies, but apparently they're smart enough to still use their equipment.
Well, you remember? Did you ever read Marvel Zombies?
No.
They were fully aware of what was like Peter Parker in Marvel Zombies was like, oh no, I ate Mary Jane. Like they're fully aware. In they were actually dumber in this than in actual Marvel Zombies. Like,
oh, okay.
You know, Marvel Zombies, once they've like, it was a thing of like, once they ate people, that's when the eating people help them get kind of their personalities back, you know, and the longer they didn't eat people, they started to go to the their primal instincts of eating people and all this, so yeah,
I never read
that sort of thing.
Marvel's Zombies, so okay.
I only read the first one. I never read any of the sequels or, because it gets kind of crazy, I've heard. But
I did read a issue. I forget which one of a Deadpool with Headpool, which is the Marvel Zombies Deadpool.
I really liked in this episode. I really liked the interaction with Hope and Peter. Like,
yeah,
it was really good, and it was really emotional too. Like,
like, your name is Hope. That must count for something.
Yeah.
Like he was so hard to be upbeat and positive about this whole situation.
Yeah. And happy with the
blam,
pulser.
blam.
Am I saying blam?
Even he didn't even know. Even when he became a zombie, he was still saying blam.
I loved how he didn't even know he was saying it. And then Sharon, she goes blam when she takes care of him. Yeah, this is great though. Like, I really enjoyed this episode a lot. It was not I don't know what I expected from Marvel Zombies, but like,
I was looking forward to this episode since I saw it in the trailer.
Yeah, I do have to say, like, what are you thinking, Hope? Like, what? No, don't shrink and then expand inside a zombie. Like, no, you're gonna get hurt. Like,
yeah.
Also, I was like, okay, she's gonna turn. Take her out of her suit so she can't do what Ant-Man did. How he infected, Cap and
the little bitty bite. I thought that was like,
yeah,
okay.
Right. I love the Hulk, like where he's about to get, like, Bruce is about to get bit, and then the Hulk like hulks out just enough to, like, to save him from being bit.
Save him, yeah.
Yeah, that was clever and cool.
In Marvel Zombies, Hulk doesn't become a zombie, does he?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Because I don't think he would.
I imagine he did, because like I can't believe they wouldn't like want to have a hulked out a zombie Hulk. Like, that's just too good of a drawing. But maybe.
Okay, no, there are. Yeah, the Hulk does become a zombie.
Yeah, all these characters just they hit on all cylinders. If I felt like I enjoyed all like the interactions between them, even like Okoye, was great.
Yeah, and have you never seen a horror movie? And then they split up.
Thank you.
Then they come back.
Oh my god.
Yeah, maybe we should not have split up during that.
Like this is all I've told you before. This is like my biggest complaints is like in zombie movies, they never like it in just about every zombie movies don't exist.
Right.
That's like one of my biggest complaints as a zombie fan. Like they don't it's like they don't zombie movies don't exist in zombie movies. But like here we got that and I loved it. Oh my god, it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I feel like the was it Hudson Thames? He voiced Peter Parker. He's the best part of this, I think. Like, so good as Peter Parker. Like, it captured Tom Holland's Peter Parker perfectly. Like, and we got 4 more episodes left of What If, right?
Yeah.
So that's gonna be interesting. And we do have a season 2 that was confirmed, so that's good. Can't wait for that.
Oh, interesting. We have a synopsis for episode 9.
Do we? Yeah.
In an alternate timeline.
Oh, it's Ultron 1. Yeah.
Vision becomes an all-powerful android known as Infinite Ultron when merged with a rival android Ultron. And now it's up to the newly formed Guardians of the Multiverse to put an end to his reign before it's too late.
Okay, then maybe that's where.
So that's where we're going to get another T'Challa, Star-Lord, as well as Captain Carter.
Okay, yeah, okay. This is what we were kind of talking about earlier.
It even has in the cast Captain Peggy Carter in this.
Okay, great. Yeah.
And T'Challa and Bruce Banner. So Chadwick Boseman and Mark Ruffalo.
Nice. Okay. And we forgot we can't forget to mention the ending of this episode.
Thanos.
Zombie Thanos.
Like that. Like, okay, I want a part 2 to Zombie Thanos.
That is horrifying. Like,
I want a part 2 to Zombie
Infinity
Thanos.
Gauntlet. Yeah. Like, oh my god. Yeah. Which I feel like really Thanos got turned that quickly. Like, I feel like he could have maybe survived.
He definitely could have held his own for a while.
Especially with 5 of the 6 Infinity Stones. Like, he had everything but visions.
Right. Which, hey, there was not an ending to this episode. So there could 100% be more.
Oh, I imagine so. Yeah. Marvel Zombies is just a name that, you know, sells. Yeah. Like, we're never going to get a live action Marvel Zombies. Never.
No.
But animated stuff. Yeah. I know I see the image of next week's episode, but is that actually next week's episode, or do we know what officially?
I don't know.
Because the image shows like the Tony Stark taking the selfie in the Humvee, which is pretty much the like Killmonger saves Tony Stark.
Yes, that was it.
From the
I
trailer.
can't remember what the
Yeah.
Killmonger. That's it. Yeah, I do believe that is the next episode.
Okay. Are we going to get Michael B. Jordan? Is he going to be voicing it? Do we know? I don't see anything in the cast about Killmonger.
It's not in the cast, but that just because we haven't seen the episode yet.
Yeah. I do love how they sprinkle the Watcher throughout the episodes. It's like Easter eggs, you know?
Yeah, where he's like, oh, nope, there he's right there. He's right there. I see him.
There he is. Yeah. Oh, look.
There he is.
And I loved how we go back to Doctor Strange, Evil One, how he was getting more powerful and he was able to hear, you know, as he was getting more powerful, he was able to, that was so brilliant. Yeah. And it's like, when are you going to get involved? We know you're going to get involved, Uatu. Like, you always get involved. You're the worst Watcher when it comes to not being involved. If you know anything about the comics, with Marvel Comics, Uatu always gets involved. Like,
yeah, he will probably be the one that brings together the Guardians of the
like we were
multiverse.
Speculating. Yeah,
he will probably
cool.
be the one that gathers them.
Yeah, because his reasoning will be like, well, if the multiverse is destroyed, there's nothing for me to watch, so I have to be involved. You know, he always has a reason to get involved in the comics, but he was dead for a while, right? And
yes,
Nick Fury
I was
the
going to say,
Watcher.
especially when he's killed. Yeah.
I think Nick Fury was the Watcher and
started Battleworld, I want to say. It's like they gathered his eyes. That was definitely that was the starting point to an event.
That was Original Sin.
Original Sin, that was it. Yep. You're right.
Yeah. And that's where like Fury told Thor, you know, what he told him to make him unworthy, and
yes,
it was kind of, you know, the Tower of Babel style for Nick Fury, you know.
Yeah.
Batman's contingency plans. It was Nick Fury's contingency plans. But I think Watu's back now. I think he like grew out of Nick Fury's eye. That was originally Watu's eye.
That sounds like a comic thing.
Because I think that's what Nick Fury did, is like he put a Watu's eye into his eye or something, and then
yes, he did.
Yeah, that's a good story. That's a good story arc. Original Sin. I wonder if that'd be cool if we ever got that in like animated form. I'm glad we're getting all these actors to continue or to do the voice work, you know, because we could that gives potential for some of these storylines in the comics that maybe we'll never get to see live action versions of, but it's possible we could get animated versions of, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. And I guess that's it. We've been talking for quite a bit.
Yes, this was a long one.
I just looked at the time and I'm like, oh crap.
Yep.
We're talking quite a bit. Alrighty. Be sure to follow us on Twitter. Stuart's at Casual Terror. I am at WillPlayGames_, and we will catch you next time.
And remember, no animals were harmed making this podcast.